Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Guru Paramparaya Namaha. Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karuna. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, today we will discuss about Panchakosha or Panchakoshaha. As Kosha is Akaranta Pumlinga, so its plural will be Koshaha. The five Sheaths. The five Sheaths. So, the indivisible Satchidananda, I'm quoting from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, what he used to tell. He used to tell the indivisible Satchidananda means Brahman. I see it both inside and outside. It has merely assumed this seed, meaning his body, for a support and exists both inside and outside. I clearly perceive this. I see you all as so many sheaths, and the heads are moving. In the previous classes, where the three bodies were mentioned, the koshas or sheaths have also been mentioned in our discussion. So what is sheath? It is nothing but a covering, like a jacket. Just as swords are kept in sheaths, likewise the Atman is enveloped by five sheaths, and these five sheaths are divided into three bodies, or the three bodies are divided into five sheaths. There are different ways of looking at the same reality. Yes, someone is telling that voice is choking. My voice naturally has choked, and if network gives more choking, I'm helpless. So the thing is, So what I told, that the Atman is enveloped by five seeds. These five seeds are divided into three bodies, or the three bodies are divided into five sheaths. These are different ways of looking at the same reality. The idea of the five sheaths in the Vedas we will see today, like in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhriguvalli, these five seeds are called five Atmas or self. See, that is why in our tradition, that in the preliminary stage, scriptures should not be studied alone. We have to go to a teacher who have studied already from his teacher. Because in Vriguvalli, in Upanishad, where the Atma word is used, it is used as Anatma. There are five sheaths. Instead of five sheaths, the words are written five Atmas. So if anyone starts picking up the book and starts studying, then they will conclude, oh, there is no one Atma, there is five Atmas. So instead of kosha, the term Atma has been used. The Anandamaya Atma is, however, considered the final attainment there. It is perhaps from such Vedic concepts of five sheaths that the kosha idea has been developed. In Panchadashi, third chapter, first sloka, it is says that the sheaths are like a cave in which truth is hidden. It is possible, it says, to know Brahman or truth, which is hidden in this cave. The five seeds are like the layers. The outermost layer is the food seed, while the innermost is the blissful seed. Now, the student is asking the question to the Guru, Panchakoshaha ke, Panchakoshaha ke. What is ke? Up to that we heard kaha, Shraddha ka or kidrishi, sapna, swapnavastha ka. So now it is suddenly has become K. So now in Sanskrit class we have learned that singular number and plural number. In Sanskrit there is number, singular, dual and plural. So kaha, kau, ke. As panchakoshaha, that is why it is ke. What is five seeds? Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Cha iti. Guru is replying that there are 5 seeds. Food seed, or Annamaya. Pranamaya is vital air seed. Manomaya or mental seed. Vijnanamaya kosha or intellectual seed. And lastly, Anandamaya kosha or bliss seed. Cha iti, and thus. So, kosha means a covering. Kosha eva kosha in Sanskrit. Or koshavat achyadayati tasmat kosha. The scabbard of the sword is of the same shape as the sword. It indicates the presence of the sword even though it covers the sword from one's side. The scabbard is always different from the sword and doesn't affect the sword in any way. Similarly, the self is covered by the 5 sheaths, 5 layers. Those 5 layers are nothing but the layers of actual ignorance. It has no physical presence. The only one seed has physical presence, that is Annamaya kosha or food seed. The rest 4 seeds have no physical incident or existence. Those 4 seeds are nothing but the layers of ignorance. The fact that I see, think, feel, and so on indicates the presence of I. The functioning of these sheaths proves the presence of the self, but they cover the true nature of the self. The 5 seeds are of my making, but I get so identified with them that I am bound by them and am unable to free myself. Even though I am essentially always free from them, but I get attached and affected by them. And therefore, we suffer. We have to discover the self as beyond the 5 sheaths. The thing is, so Sri Ramakrishna explained the 5 seeds very beautifully. He told that Chaitanya or the consciousness experienced three states of mind. First, the conscious state, when his mind dwelt on the gross and the subtle. Second, the semi-conscious state, when his mind entered the causal body and was absorbed in the bliss of divine intoxication. Third, the inmost state, when his mind was merged in the great cause. And this agrees very well with the five koshas or sheaths described in Vedanta. The gross body corresponds to the Annamaya kosha and the Pranamaya kosha. Okay? This gross body corresponds to the Annamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha. The subtle body to the Manomaya kosha and the Vijnanamaya kosha. And the causal body to the Anandamaya kosha. So first we told you that the either the look it is our looking at the idea that bodies are divided into five seeds. Three bodies are divided into five seeds, or five seeds are divided into three bodies. Clear? The Mahakarana, the great cause, is beyond the five sheaths. When mind of consciousness merged in the consciousness alone, it would go into samadhi. The person goes into samadhi. This is called Nirvikalpaka Samadhi or Jada Samadhi. While conscious of the outer world, the same consciousness sang the name of God. While that consciousness or Chaitanya in the state of partial consciousness, he danced with the devotees. And while in the inmost state of consciousness, he remained absorbed in samadhi. Now we will discuss about food seed. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that karma yoga is very hard indeed. In Kali Yuga, it is extremely difficult to perform the rites enjoined in the scriptures. Nowadays, man's life is centered on food alone. One incident I will share with you. some persons had brought 3 bullock carts. They had to fill it with sand to be taken to their master's house. Actually, those persons were the students of a hermitage, and they were taking sands for the master. Those workers began to dig the sand on the bank of the river. The cart was soon half full. Meanwhile, one of the diggers shouted, "My spade has struck some animal under the sand. It has come out with fresh blood. Perhaps some dead fish," they thought, because the river. Strange, when the spade was struck again, it brought out a hand. It's a true incident, I'm telling. Dripping with blood, the workers started to shake, with fear, and began to howl and cry, "I have got a dead body, I have got a dead body," which is buried over here. But surprisingly enough, the earth in front of them appeared to shake, as if something was shaking off the sand and trying to come out. All the workers stood there, terrified that something ghastly or supernatural was happening. But they took courage and dug around, and slowly they saw someone come out. It was an alive, naked mendicant monk, hand cut off from the shoulder down, coming out of the sand. They had cut off the hand of a mendicant monk. The workers had committed the worst blunder a human being could commit. They all fell at the feet of the saint. But he was smiling. And he started telling that there was neither pain nor anger really in him. And he said, "I don't know when it happened, but I was meditating." Just think. And went into ecstasy. Sand covered me, and you cut off my hand. And the pain made my samadhi break. I am out of the sand now. Saying this, the saint walked away. Even as blood dripped from his shoulder. This is from the life of Sadashiva Brahmendra Saraswati, the great Advaitin of India. I have heard from an old monk that in Rishikesh, Haridwar Rishikesh, there was one bridge was going to be made. Long past story. That sadhu was in the Rishikesh hospital. He told me and he witnessed the event. Then, the digging was going on, and suddenly the engineers and the laborers found some 20, 30 feet below, there is a heap of white ants. So they started breaking it, and suddenly they saw one person is sitting very thin, very lean. They thought it is a dead body. But some learned people were there. They thought that if it is dead body, there will be only skeleton. Why this body of blood and flesh? So what they did, they consulted with some old monks stayed over there. And they told, no, 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 he is in samadhi. So the old monks started doing some chanting and, massaging the spinal cord region with the ghee clarified butter. And after doing all such, that meditating monk got up from the ecstasy. And first word was, ये दुष्ट बाबर ना अकबर कहाँ है? Means when the Muslim invasion was there and they started torturing the Hindu saints, so he was one of them who was tortured by the Muslim invaders, and he started meditating some 300, 400 years back, and it was continuing. And the sadhu told me he witnessed, then he was young at that time. So it is possible. Now the thing is, we will discuss the sages and their struggles. The rishis, the sages of old, attained the knowledge of Brahman. One cannot have this so long as there is the slightest trace of worldliness. How hard the sages labored. Early in the morning, they would go away from the hermitage and would spend the whole day in solitude meditating on Brahman, and night they would return to the hermitage and eat a little bit of fruit or roots. But in the Kali Yuga, in this present situation, man being totally dependent on food for life cannot altogether shake off the idea that he is the body. The greatest hurdles is our dear body, dearer body, dearest body, perhaps, for us in attaining Brahman or truth. We cannot give up identity with this body as it were. Vivek Chudamani, 162 number sloka, it is mentioned correctly. I have chanted earlier also that it says that as long as one does not give up identity with the body, one has no hope of liberation. In spite of his being a great scholar, Pandit, therefore the book says, Vivek Chudamani in 163 and 164, that never consider the body to be the Atman. If you do, it will be like taking the shadow for the real thing. All troubles are because you confuse the body for the Atman. The verse is like that. Dehohamityeva jadasya buddhihi dehe cha jive vidushaspahamdhihi viveka vijnanavato mahatmana brahmamityeva mati sadatmani atratma buddhim tyajamudha buddhe Tang mam samedosti purisharasau sarvatmani brahmani nirvikalpe kurushva shantim paramam bhajasva dehindriyat dehindriyadavasati pramoditam Vidvan hantam na jahati javat tavanna tasyasti vimukti vartapi astvesha vedanta nayanta darshi. While we discussed about Sthula Sharira, I narrated and explained the slokas. If you can't remember, you go to the old class notes. The body is made of food. As doctors declare, our body is in accordance with the food we consume. If our food is good, the body will be healthy. If we eat poor diet, the body will be weak. This far the scientist can go. The spiritual person goes further. He adds that pure food brings a pure body and impure food does otherwise. We have discussed pure food earlier. The other aspect of pure food is that it is offered to God and partaken as prasada or sacramental food. The thing is, what Bhagavan Krishna meant in the Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, 10th sloka, that food which is defiled should not be offered or eaten. Yatayamam gatarasam Uti paryushitam chayat uchishtam apicha medhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. This is the verse. Sri Ramakrishna says, both the Vedas and the Puranas describe pure food and conduct. Guru Nanak once said, I was about to eat the food of unholy people when I found it stained with blood. It is for this reason that our food should be pure. Pure food makes a pure body, and pure mind also. If the body and mind are pure, one can easily concentrate on God. Now the question is, what is pure food? The scripture says that that food which is not defiled by prior eating or impurities like hair, dirt, and so on is pure. That food which is cooked by the devotee with love and devotion is pure. That food which is earned by noble means is pure, and so on. So food is therefore vital for spiritual aspirants or mumukshu or sadhakas. It is not to appease hunger that we eat, but to lead spiritual lives. Moreover, food should be taken in such a way that it is conducive for our spiritual practices or sadhana. Once one saint told, we must eat food like taking medicine. Now the question is the food seed essential? The food seed is impermanent. Its span is at the most 100 years, 200 years in the case of human beings. Then why should it be there at all if it is impermanent, changing, diseased, and helpless? We have discussed this issue or this event while we discussed physical body. Our bodies, a physical body and Jagrat Avastha, waking state. Please listen to those classes, then you can understand. Our bodies are the gift of our karma, past karma. And when the karma is exhausted, we shall be released from them. Secondly, bodies are meant to strive for realization. Thirdly, bodies are meant to work. Fourthly, bodies are meant to know we are all one. All creation is one. Even physically, all are one because it is the five elements which have made all the bodies, and the elements are products of avidya. You can remember the five basic elements when we discussed the gross body. We discussed it. So now the question was asked by the student. That what is Annamaya Koshaha? What is Annamaya Koshaha? What is food sheath?